Did you know that poor communication is one of the top reasons why 60% of leaders fail? That's right, it's not lack of skill or vision, it's how they communicate. Whether it's silence, jargon, or simply not listening, bad communication can destroy your leadership influence faster than anything else. And here's a shocking fact: 90% of leaders believe they communicate effectively, but only 20% of their team agrees. Leadership isn't just about telling people what to do, it's about connecting, motivating, and inspiring through words and actions. In this video, we'll uncover the 6 common communication mistakes that can kill your influence. These aren't the typical things you hear about, these are the sneaky traps even the most experienced leaders fall into. Stick around, because we're diving into what really happens when communication goes wrong, and how you can avoid these deadly mistakes. Ready to transform your leadership? Let's get started. Chapter 1. The silence that speaks volumes. We've all heard the saying, silence is golden, but in leadership, silence can sometimes be deadly. Leaders who think their silence speaks louder than words may be missing an essential piece of the communication puzzle. When you don't speak up, people are left in the dark, unsure of where you stand or what you expect from them. This lack of clarity can lead to confusion, lack of direction, and ultimately, disengagement. A study from the University of California found that clear communication leads to a 25% increase in team productivity. Simply put, silence can cause more harm than good. Leaders who remain quiet during key moments risk losing their influence. Whether it's in meetings, feedback sessions, or crisis moments, your voice matters. If you avoid confrontation or difficult conversations, others may see you as weak or indecisive. Leadership isn't just about giving orders, it's about guiding your team through conversations that create understanding. Even during tough situations, speaking up shows that you're in control and care about the outcome. A good leader knows when to break the silence and when to listen. In fact, good leaders spend almost 60% of their time listening to others, according to the book The 5 Levels of Leadership by John C. Maxwell. Listening is not passive. It's an active form of communication that allows you to build trust and gain valuable insights. Don't let silence define you. Use your voice to foster collaboration, alignment, and action. Chapter 2. The echo chamber effect. It feels good to hear compliments and agree with those around you, but this echo chamber of yes men can actually kill your influence. Surrounding yourself only with people who agree with everything you say prevents you from growing. Feedback is essential for improvement, and without it, your leadership is bound to stagnate. A Harvard Business Review article found that 72% of employees said they don't receive enough constructive feedback, which leads to decreased performance and engagement. Leaders who fail to seek diverse opinions risk creating a bubble of confirmation bias. If everyone around you echoes your thoughts, you miss out on alternative solutions and fresh perspectives. In fact, diversity of thought is one of the most important drivers of innovation. Great leaders invite dissent and seek constructive criticism, not just affirmation. This helps them grow as individuals and make better decisions for their teams. Building a culture of open dialogue is crucial. Leaders should foster an environment where employees feel comfortable speaking up. This approach doesn't just improve your decision-making, it also strengthens trust. When your team knows you value their opinions, they'll feel more engaged and invested in your shared goals. When people speak freely, you're more likely to find the right solutions and build a high-performing team. Chapter 3. The confusing jargon trap. Have you ever found yourself listening to a leader or speaker and thought, what are they even talking about? Using complex language and jargon can make your message unclear and drive people away. Research shows that 79% of employees feel disconnected when leadership uses language that's too technical or vague. Simple communication is far more effective at engaging people and ensuring that your message is understood. In leadership, simplicity is your friend. People are far more likely to act when they understand what's expected of them. Take a moment to reflect on how often you've been in a conversation where the speaker used big words or acronyms you didn't understand. It creates distance. This is why great leaders strive to communicate with clarity, breaking down complex ideas into digestible points. It's about making sure your audience understands the why and how of your message, not just the what. Studies show that simplifying your communication can increase team engagement by as much as 40%. The book Made to Stick by Chip Heath and Dan Heath explains how clear, simple messages are more likely to stick in people's minds. If you want to lead effectively, don't rely on jargon to sound smart. Instead, use plain language to ensure everyone is on the same page. One easy way to avoid jargon is to put yourself in the shoes of your audience. Ask yourself, if I didn't know what I was talking about, would I understand this? Being relatable and clear isn't about dumbing down your message, it's about making sure it lands. Great leaders are not the ones who use the most complex language. They're the ones who can explain even the toughest topics in a way that anyone can grasp. Don't forget to subscribe for more leadership tips to help you elevate your influence and communication skills. Chapter 4. The charisma black hole. Charisma can be a powerful tool for leaders, but it can also be a trap. Many leaders rely too heavily on their charm and personal magnetism, hoping that their likability alone will carry them through. While being charismatic is important, it's not enough. If you don't back up your charm with substance, your influence will quickly fade. A study by the Center for Creative Leadership found that employees rated leaders with high charisma but low competence as ineffective and unsustainable. Charisma without substance is like a balloon. It's exciting at first, but it's bound to deflate. Leadership is about more than just winning people over with charm. It's about inspiring confidence in your team and delivering results. Leaders Eat Last by Simon Sinek explains that trust is the foundation of influence, and trust is built through consistent actions, not just a charismatic personality. The message here is clear. Substance is what keeps the balloon afloat. To maintain your influence, focus on the what and how of your leadership. Leaders who add value through their knowledge, vision, and decisions will inspire long-term loyalty. Your team wants to know that you're not only charming but also competent and capable. When your actions match your words, people begin to believe in you, not just your personality. Great leaders also understand that the right balance between charisma and substance is essential. Think about leaders like Nelson Mandela or Oprah Winfrey. Their influence was not based solely on their charm but on their ability to communicate meaningful values and lead with purpose. When you lead with both heart and head, you create lasting impact. Chapter 5. The disconnect of distracted leadership. In today's fast-paced world, distractions are everywhere, but as a leader, you cannot afford to be distracted. Whether it's checking your phone, multitasking during meetings, or zoning out while others are speaking, being disengaged sends a clear message. You don't value what others have to say. According to a study by the National Center for Biotechnology Information, multitasking can reduce productivity by as much as 40%. Leadership requires focus, and without it, your communication loses its power. Leaders who fail to give their full attention can damage team morale and productivity. Employees want to feel heard and understood, and when a leader isn't present, it can lead to frustration. If you're constantly distracted, you miss valuable opportunities to connect, empathize, and influence your team. A study by Gallup found that engaged leaders have a 70% higher chance of achieving team goals. So, how do you combat distractions? First, make eye contact. It sounds simple, but this small gesture can drastically improve communication and engagement. When you give your full attention to someone, they feel respected, valued, and understood. The next time you're in a conversation, put down the phone and focus on the person in front of you. Another key strategy is to actively listen. This means listening with the intent to understand, not just to respond. Research from the International Listening Association shows that listening is one of the most important skills leaders can develop, and it's linked directly to trust building and influence. Being present isn't just about avoiding distractions, it's about showing your team that you're genuinely invested in their thoughts and feelings. Chapter 6. The non-listening epidemic. You've heard it before. Communication is a two-way street. Yet, many leaders still struggle with the most basic form of communication, listening. Active listening is one of the most powerful tools in a leader's toolkit, yet it's often neglected. In fact, a study by the International Listening Association found that 75% of leaders spend less than half of their time listening to their teams. This lack of listening leads to miscommunication, misunderstandings, and lost opportunities. Leaders who don't listen fail to gather essential information that could help them make better decisions. When your team doesn't feel heard, they're less likely to share their ideas, concerns, or feedback, which can hurt productivity and morale. As Leadership by John C. Maxwell suggests, leadership is about moving from a mindset of speaking to one of listening and learning from those around you. So, how can you improve your listening skills? First, practice active listening. This means making a conscious effort to hear what the other person is saying, without interrupting or formulating a response while they speak. Give feedback and ask clarifying questions to ensure you understand their message fully. When you actively listen, you not only gather more valuable insights but also build trust and rapport with your team. Leaders who listen create an environment where people feel safe to share their thoughts and ideas. As The 5 Dysfunctions of a Team by Patrick Lencioni explains, a lack of trust within teams can lead to dysfunction. Listening shows your team that you care about their opinions and that you value their input. This creates a culture of open communication, where team members feel empowered to contribute and collaborate. Another strategy to improve your listening is to schedule regular feedback sessions with your team. These one-on-one meetings are an excellent opportunity to hear directly from your employees about what's working and what's not. It's also a chance to demonstrate that you value their perspectives and are committed to making improvements based on their input. Don't forget to subscribe. Stay tuned for more tips on how to boost your leadership communication skills and become a stronger, more influential leader.